Today we'll be sharing with you all our project on social connection and anthropomorphism of non-human agents. Research has shown that humans are social creatures. We benefit evolutionarily, biologically, and psychologically from interacting with others. Therefore, when we are feeling lonely, we seek social connection. But how do we seek social connection when there aren't other humans around? Previous studies have shown that lonely individuals pay increased attention to social cues in the environment. In some cases, this heightened attention leads to anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism describes the tendency to attribute human-like qualities and characteristics to non-human agents such as gadgets, paranormal events, and pets. Previous research conducted by Epley et al. Has found that experimentally inducing feelings of social disconnection resulted in participants demonstrating higher rates of anthropomorphism compared to control groups who did not undergo emotional elicitation. Therefore, these results suggest that anthropomorphism emerges for a need for human connection. We sought to re-examine this claim by partially replicating and extending Epley et al. To see whether promoting feelings of social connection impacts an individual's tendency to anthropomorphize. Due to previous research showing socially disconnected individuals demonstrate higher rates of anthropomorphism, we predicted that participants in the social disconnection group would show the greatest increase in anthropomorphism via PET ratings between the pre- and post-test scores. Although Epley et al. Did not look at how feelings of social connection influence anthropomorphism, other research has shown that watching videos displaying acts of compassion and humanity encourage the humanization of outgroups. Therefore, we attempted to extend Epley's work to see how experimentally inducing feelings of social disconnection and connection would impact anthropomorphism. Although uncertain of the direction of this difference, we predicted that participants within the humanity condition would demonstrate a difference in pre- and post-test scores of anthropomorphism of PET ratings. Finally, due to previous studies showing a relationship between extroversion, which is a personality trait characterized by outgoing and sociable behaviors, and a need for social attention, we predicted that higher extroversion scores would relate to anthropomorphism towards pets as well as supernatural beliefs.
In order to test our hypothesis, participants first completed a brief, basic demographic survey. Next, participants were then presented with the Big Five Inventory, or BFI survey, which is a common survey designed and validated by a plethora of previous research as a means of identifying where an individual's personality falls within each of the 5 following categories: extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, and openness. This was accomplished by asking participants to rate on a Likert scale of 1, disagree strongly, to 5, agree strongly, how they identified to characteristic statements, such as if they see themselves as an individual who is outgoing and sociable, can be somewhat careless, etc. With an interest in seeing if individuals with a more extroverted personality trait are more likely to engage within anthropomorphizing non-human agents, the BFI is the ideal survey to present to participants. After completing the BFI survey, all participants then went on to a pretest, which consisted of supernatural and PET belief questionnaires derived from the original Epley et al. Study. The supernatural beliefs questionnaire assessed an individual's belief in a variety of supernatural agents on a 10-point Likert scale, with 0 indicating no belief and 10 indicating a strong belief in supernatural agents and events such as ghosts, God, miracles, the devil, etc. Immediately following the supernatural beliefs questionnaire, participants were prompted to think of their own pet, or a pet that they know, and then to select 3 traits out of 14 that they best felt described the pet. The traits that participants were asked to select from fell into 3 different categories: anthropomorphic and social, with traits such as considerate, thoughtful, and sympathetic; anthropomorphic and non-social, with traits such as creative, devious, and jealous; and finally, anthropomorphic, with traits to describe their pet of agile, aggressive, and lethargic. We were particularly interested in examining the change in the proportion of anthropomorphic traits chosen after the experimental manipulation. After completion of the supernatural beliefs and pet traits questionnaires, participants were then randomly assigned into one of 3 video groups. The first group watched a video depicting a scene from the Tom Hanks film Castaway, in which the main character discovers that he's completely alone on a desolate island. This video clip is the same that was used in the original Epley et al. Study and was utilized to elicit a feeling of social disconnection within participants. The second group watched a video clip showing soldiers returning home to their families after deployment. In a previous research study, it was demonstrated that participants who viewed this video experienced increased feelings of social connectedness. The third group served as an emotional control group. This group watched a video clip which had been validated from a previous research to establish feelings of humor within participants. We included this group in an effort to tease apart any effects of the social connection manipulation from effects of positive emotion. Immediately following the video, participants then went on to complete the Positive and Negative Affect Schedule, or PANAS, which is a survey designed to measure an individual's emotional positive and negative affect. This survey validated the video clip's elicitation of appropriate emotional responses. For simplicity's sake, we have not shown the validation data here. Finally, after completing the PANAS, participants were then given an identical post-test in order to determine if one's responses to their supernatural and pet beliefs had been significantly affected by one of the video conditions.
Figures 1 and 2 show that all three groups increased in anthropomorphism over time on both pet ratings and supernatural beliefs. This suggests one of two possibilities. First, there was a problem with our methodology. For example, the pretest may have given away the objective of the experiment, so the participants answered the second set of questionnaires how they thought we wanted them to. A second, more interesting possibility is that inducing feelings of positivity can impact anthropomorphism. We're considering ways to better examine this possibility in future work. In the present study, we predicted that the social disconnection group would have the greatest increase of anthropomorphism, which would be a replication of Epley et al. While we did observe the largest numerical difference in the social disconnection group between pre- and post-tests, the interaction effect only trended towards statistical significance. Our predicted relationship between anthropomorphism and extroversion was not statistically significant. However, we saw an interesting positive correlation between openness to experience and baseline measures of supernatural beliefs on the pretest. Openness to experience is receptiveness to new ideas and experiences, and an example behavior of openness to experience is trying new foods at different restaurants. The relationship between supernatural beliefs and openness to experience makes sense because a person who's open to new ideas and experiences may be more accepting of imaginary events and other objects that are not necessarily real. Further study will be conducted to expand upon the relationship between openness to experience and anthropomorphism, and we'll also address the issues within our methodology.